5 months of spiritual kingdom planting in Bethsaida. From May 3 to October 3 of the year 28, Jesus and his apostles stayed at the house of Zebedee in Bethsaida. During these 5 summer months, a large camp popped up on the shore of the lake near Zebedee's house. This expanding camp housed the growing group of people who came for Jesus. The constantly changing inhabitants consisted out of truth seekers, sick people, and people driven by curiosity. Their number fluctuated between 500 and 1,500. This tent village was under the general supervision of David Zebedee, the younger brother of John and James, a young man who would go on to play an increasingly prominent role in the Jesus movement. Due to the influx of sick people who came in the hope to be cured or find healing, a nursing facility was built in the camp. This improvised field hospital can be considered the first hospital established by the movement Jesus started on earth. In this nursing facility, the sick were treated according to all known medical methods. The nursing was under the direction of a skilled doctor. His name was Elman, and he was an experienced Syrian physician. In addition to the nursing, the sick were visited and spiritually encouraged by the residents of the camp, and there was also much prayer. Jesus also often visited these sick people and showed genuine interest and frequently had profound personal contact with the patients. As far as we know, no miraculous or supernatural healings occurred during these 5 months. However, many sick people left this camp in better health or fully recovered. The vast majority of those who found healing later proclaimed that Jesus had healed them. Many healings that appeared to be miraculously caused by Jesus, indeed seemed like supernatural intervention. But we have been informed that these healings resulted from the change in the spiritual consciousness of these sick people. People can be sick due to past traumatic experiences. The mind is so wounded that it affects the body, causing symptoms of illness. They themselves are unable to break this visual circle, but it can have a healing effect if they encounter the inspiring influence of a strong, positive personality. During this period, the apostles still worked as fishermen, regularly to earn money for their livelihood. And every month in turn they had a week off to be with their families. Most people stayed for a few weeks, resulting in a high turnover in the camp. During these 5 months, thousands of people came and went. Since everyone was welcome, there were also non-Jewish visitors. There were even people from outside the Roman Empire. This was the longest period that Jesus was able to teach in one place and in a well-organized environment. His mother and brothers disapproved of these activities and they had left Capernaum. David Zebedee managed this large tent village as a self-financing enterprise, meaning that the residents paid money to cover the costs. However, no one was ever refused and poor people were also welcome. In the camp, the apostles set up training for loyal followers of Jesus who had the desire to spread the message of the kingdom. These students were under the leadership of Simon Peter. In the morning, the apostles taught these new evangelists, and in the afternoon, these disciples taught the people. Peter, James, and Andrew formed an admission committee, who screened those future evangelists. They interviewed the people who applied for this training. If they had a positive impression of such a prospective student, they were accepted. These 3 apostles were appointed by Jesus to conduct this screening. The curriculum consisted of both theory and practice. What the students learned in the morning, they taught in the afternoon to the people who lived in the camp. After the evening meal, they discussed informally what they had learned in the morning or what they had taught in the afternoon. Each apostolic teacher taught the gospel of the kingdom in his own way. No attempts were made to give exactly the same instruction. There was no standardized or dogmatic formulation of theological doctrines. Although they all taught the same truth, each apostle spoke about his own personal interpretation of the kingdom. Jesus supported this presentation of diversity that stemmed from their personal experiences, and he continuously harmonized and coordinated these many differing views. Although all the apostles had complete freedom to teach their own interpretation of the kingdom, the theology of Simon Peter dominated this school of evangelists. The more than 100 evangelists trained during these 5 months later formed the pool from which most of the 70 teachers of the gospel were chosen. Remarkably, of the large number of sick people who were miraculously healed in the mass healing just 4 months ago, only 7 applied for this evangelist training.